Fine. So now let's look at how Selenium works and what you need to do in order to work with Selenium. Right. Now in the last, guys, please keep your microphones on mute, please. Okay. So out here we have, hold on. Let me create a new project. Day 4. We had seen how to open the browser and all, and we had seen the concept of interfaces, that how you can dynamically open the browser. Right. Now what you need to do is that you need to learn about object identification. Right. That how do you identify objects in WebDriver, and what are techniques you use. Now, what is an object basically? Okay. Look, in automation testing, everything on a page is known as an object. A button is an object. A link is an object. Okay. You can say a radio button or normal text on the page also, it is known as an object technically. Right. So how do you identify the objects? Firstly. Secondly, in Selenium, objects are also known as web elements. Okay. Don't compare it with web element of QTP, that is different. Right. A button is known as a web element in Selenium. A link is known as a web element in Selenium. Everything which is there on the page is a web element. Okay. Right. So in the last class, I had written the code with the help of this WebDriver interface, where you could dynamically open the browser and go to the respective website. And now, how do you interact with the website? This is the question. How do you interact with the web elements? Right. To interact and to know how you work with web elements, the first thing which you need to do is that you need to know, like for example, I have opened Mozilla, that how will you interact with objects in Mozilla, right? To interact with the objects, you need to know how websites they work. For example, if I am on the website bbc.com, okay, on this website everything is there. If I right click on the website, I will get the page source. Okay, Selenium always works on this page source. Alright, it will always scan this page source. This is the HTML page source. This is the server response. Okay, right. Now, what is HTML? You can just give 15 minutes of your time on any HTML tutorial on W3 schools or on the internet. You will get to know in depth about it. But basically, what HTML has is that HTML has got tags and attributes. Okay, sorry. For example, this is a tag over here. This tag is known as label. This label tag has an attribute for associated with it. This is a tag input. It's got so many attributes associated with it. ID, type, autocomplete, all these things. Okay, this is a tag div. It's got an attribute ID associated with it. Alright, this is the section tag. Okay, so there can be a tag. One tag can have either no attribute or it can have many attributes. This h1 tag is opening over here. Okay, it's got one attribute. Okay, this can have any number of attributes. A tag can have 0 to n number of attributes. Either a ID tag would not have been over here. Okay, or it is there, or it can have one more attribute. So the h1 tag closes over here. Okay, and in between BBC homepage is it. So this BBC homepage will be displayed on the website. Okay, the text which is written between the tags is displayed on the website. For example, anchor tag A. Anchor tag represents a link. Okay, this anchor tag closes over here. So this thing will come up as a link on the website. Okay, you see that Obama commutes Chelsea Manning sentence, right? So over here Chelsea. So over here you will see that this text is present in this anchor tag. Okay, and it's got various attributes associated with it. Alright, so you have to analyze the page source in Selenium. Selenium works on page source. Okay, now you don't have to analyze the page source like this. There are tools available. For example, most of you must be knowing there is a tool known as Firebug inside Firefox. Okay, just go to Google and type Firebug Firefox. You will get this first link out here. Okay, you can go to this first link, Firebug add-ons for Firefox. Okay, depending on your version, you can go to any old version over here, right? Right, and if you click on this, right, so over here you can select which version you want. You can take any version which is adding to Firefox. You can click on add to Firefox. Make sure that you open this in you open this in Firefox, okay, and in no other tool, sorry, browser, right? So once you open it and you install it, okay, and you restart your Firefox, you will get an icon over here, this icon. This is the Firebug icon, right? So you can click on this icon and you can start investigating the web page and all everything. Okay, right. So this is how Firebug will work. Okay, and at the bottom you will see the page source. You can investigate it by clicking on this arrow. You click on this arrow, move your mouse, wherever you move your mouse, you will get the page source of that element on the page. Okay, right. So this is how you invest in Firefox. You can also investigate in Chrome or IE. There are ways available for Chrome and IE, right? Hold on, let me open up Chrome and go to anywhere. For example, this is a banking website. Okay, so on Chrome, if you want to investigate a web page, you can simply hold on, right click on the element. For example, there is a link over here on the top, private. Okay, if I right click on it, you'll get the option inspect. Okay, you click on this inspect option and you will have this Chrome inspector opening up. It is inbuilt, you don't need to install it, right? And you can simply use this arrow out here. You see this arrow? Use this arrow and you can investigate the web page. Okay, you can also hit F12 of keyboard. If you hit F12, then the Chrome inspector, it comes up. Okay, and it goes away as well with F12. Alright, for IE, it is simple. Right, for IE, hold on, just a minute. For IE, if you have to, investigate the web page, you have to hit the F12 of keyboard. Okay, hit F12 and you will have this IE inspector opening up. Alright, with this IE inspector, you can investigate the web page. Again, there is an arrow. You can move your elements over the arrow and the element will, wherever you move, that element will be highlighted in the page source. Okay, right. Now, this is how you investigate the page source on all the three browsers, but practically You just need to investigate on any one browser. We prefer Firefox because Firebug is a very good tool, and then you can make the same script run on any other browser because the page source will remain the same. The page source will not change. Okay, this page source will remain the same. Alright, page source will not change, and you can investigate this anything. For example, if I investigate this text on the top, Firebug version history, this page source will remain the same across all the three browsers. So you just investigate on one browser and you can make the script run on other browsers as well. Okay, right. So let me take up a very simple example that how you investigate the page source and how you interact with the elements. Right. For example, if I right, out here, if I just a minute, if I go to the website gmail.com. Okay, let's take a very simple example. Okay, I have to go to Gmail and I have to interact with the elements on this web page. Okay, for example, I have to read the text, or I have to interact with this text field. I have to click on this button, or there is a drop down. Okay, or there is a link. Fine, how do you do that? Okay, I have made this day 4 project. I'll add all the jar files of Selenium. Okay, I'll make a new class known as gmail.java, right, in which I will write a simple code, that is, say WebDriver driver equals to new Firefox driver. Okay, I'll initiate my Firefox. I'll start my Firefox. Okay, I'll take it to gmail.com, and after going to gmail.com I have to interact with the web page. Okay, look, as I told you, everything on a web page is known as a web element. Okay, you investigate the web elements with the help of Firebug. Okay, you open Firebug, you investigate the web elements like this. If you go to the official website of Selenium, which is seleniumhq.org, and you go to the downloads section and you go to the Java docs. Now you don't have to, every time I'm going to Java docs, I'm going to Java docs by clicking on that Java docs link. You don't need to do that. You can directly import Java docs inside your Eclipse. That is possible. You can copy this URL. Okay, and you can go to Eclipse and you can go to Selenium Java 2.53.jar. Okay, this is the main jar file of Selenium which is included in the project. Okay, and you have to right click on the properties of the project and go to the location of the jars, and this is the main jar file, Selenium Java 2.53. Okay, expand it, go to the Java doc location and edit it, paste the URL of Java docs and remove index.html from the end. Please remove this index.html. Click on validate and it will validate the stuff. Okay, and now this is your gmail.java. Okay, now sorry, out here you have imported the Java docs into Eclipse. If I move my mouse over WebDriver, okay, this is WebDriver which is written. If I move my mouse over these, you will start getting the definitions. This is Firefox driver and this is hold on, WebDriver, it will tell you what it is. It is the main interface used for testing, right? And even if I write driver dot, I get a list of functions, and it will tell you about each and every function what it does, right? For example, the get function will try to load a new web page in the current browser. Okay, so this is how it works. Fine. Okay, now if you look at the documentation, you can also, sorry for the noise, right? You can also import the documentation inside Eclipse. Okay, and you can open Java docs as well. For example, if I move my mouse over WebDriver and if I click anywhere over here in the links, right, this will open the WebDriver in that's how it comes up in Eclipse. Vikrant, you have to remove index.html. You'll have this documentation coming up, and if you go to the frames view, this is the frames view. You go to the frames view and you will have the complete documentation opened in Eclipse. Okay, now if you look at this documentation, right, then you will see that you will see that just give me 2 minutes, guys, just a minute. I'll be So you can open this documentation, and if you look over here, if you scroll down, these are all the classes which you are using. Now if you refer this carefully, then you will see that at the bottom there is an interface known as web element. This web element is an interface. Okay, and this interface represents a generic HTML element. That means it represents a generic component on the web page. Okay, right, as I told you, web element in Selenium, it can represent a button, it can represent a link, it can represent a text, it can represent anything. If you scroll down in this particular web element interface, there are various functions which can help you interact with the elements. For example, click will click on the element, clear will clear the value of the element, get the location, get the size, okay, get the text, either whether it is displayed or not, whether it is enabled, selected. So there are various things. Send keys will type into the element, use this function to simulate typing. Okay, so a web element interface will help you to interact with the components on the web page. Okay, so what you can do is that after going to gmail.com, you can write this command. Most of you will be knowing about it. Driver.find element. Okay, driver.find element will go and find a particular element on the web page. If you put driver dot, you will get this find element function. This find element function will find the first web element using the given method. Okay, by which criteria you have to find it, that is specified by an internal class known as by dot. Look, there are few locator strategies. These functions coming up over here are, see, they signify the locator strategies, the strategy which you will use to locate the element on the page. For example, if there is a link, the easiest thing is you can use the link text. Okay, you can give the link text, whatever is the link on the web page, and it will find that link. Okay, by class has got everything static inside it. You can directly refer it with the name of the class. All the functions are static. The most easiest way to locate an element is that by the ID or by the name. If an element has got an ID or a name, for example, in the Gmail page, if you investigate this user ID text field, okay, this is the user ID text field in Gmail page. If you investigate this, then it is an input field whose ID is email. Look, this is a good thing about it. We have got the ID of the field. ID is supposed to be unique. In web-based applications, one object on a page or one web element on a page will have a unique ID. In case of mobile applications, it differs. Okay, multiple elements in mobiles, they have got same IDs, but generally in web-based applications, two elements on a page will not have same ID. Okay, so if you get an ID of a element, you are very lucky. You can actually go and detect the element very easily on the web page. Okay, what you can do is that you can write over here driver.find element by the ID. You can give the ID as email, right? And this function will return you the web element reference. Find element will find the element and return you the web element corresponding to the element. That is web element email equals to driver.find element by the ID email, right? And you can write email dot send keys. You can give the email address over here. Okay, for example, I'll just write say xyz. So send keys function is used to use this method to simulate typing into the element. It's a function inside the web element interface. Okay, so when you run this code, this will open Gmail and type something inside the text field. So you'll see that the browser will open. It will go to Gmail and it will type something over here. XYZ is typed. Right. Now, for example, if you want to click on this next button, if you investigate this next button, you are very lucky over here, you are getting the ID as well as you are getting the name. If an element has got a name as well or an ID, it is really easy to identify that element. Okay, so if you write over here web element, say button equals to driver dot find element by the name. You give the name of the button. The name of the button over here is sign in. Okay, it is case sensitive. If I is in uppercase, it has to be in the uppercase. Okay, and you can write button dot click. So you can fire the function click, which is available in the web element interface. Okay, so when you run this code, so it is very simple. You find the web elements and you interact with them. It's very simple. Okay, you see that it submitted the form and Google does not recognize the key, right? Okay, so if an element has got an ID or name, it is really simple to recognize the element. Now, what if two elements on the page have got same ID? Let's take up that scenario. What will happen? Okay, on this web page, there was just one text field with email, right? What if there were another text field or some other component which was having the ID as email? In that case, look, Selenium, what it does is that it interacts with the web page and extracts the object from the left to the right side, and it keeps on scrolling down the web page. Okay, right? If there are, say, there is an element over here, there is an element over here, and there is an element over here. All of them have the same ID. Okay, then driver.find element command will pick up the first element. It will use this element. It will ignore these two. If you have to use the second or the third one, you can use it. There are ways available. I'll tell you later on. Okay, but it will use the first one. Okay, if you look at the definition of this find element function as well, find element, it will find the first web element using the given method, the first one which it encounters. Okay, And you don't need to write two lines every time. I will just comment these lines. You don't need to write like this. Generally what we do is that we write like this: driver dot find element by the id email dot send keys xyz, in one line only. The execution starts from the left side. First this is evaluated, you get the web element, and on the web element you fire the function send keys. Okay, so the web element is extracted and on that you fire the function send keys. Similarly, you can write driver dot find element by the name sign in and you click on it. Okay, so this is the web element extracted and you click on the web element. So when you run this code, alright, and the browser will open, it will go to the website and you see expenses, right? It works. Now taking a scenario wherein by mistake or you give an ID which is actually not present on the web page, what will happen? If you give an ID, right, which is not present on the web page, right, then what will happen? Right. So look, to do that, if I run this, for example, if I run this, then and you will get an exception immediately. No such element exception. So if an element is not found on a web page, you get the no such element exception. So you have to be very careful. Okay, if you get this, you should understand by yourself that I was not able to find the element on the page. Okay, the element did not exist on the page. But the problem is this exception comes up immediately within a fraction of a second. If I run this code, it will come up immediately within 1 second as soon as Gmail loads. Say out here, see Gmail is loading and it comes up immediately. Now if you want Selenium to wait for some time, because sometimes what happens is that the objects, they take time to load, the web elements they load after the page is loaded. Maybe after 5 seconds the object becomes visible. There are Ajax components and all. So what we do, we use implicit wait over here. Okay, after starting WebDriver, I'll give this command: driver dot manage dot timeouts dot implicitly wait 20 comma time unit dot seconds. Now what do you mean by implicit wait? Okay, look, implicit wait is the default timeout for which Selenium will find an element. Okay, out here I am writing 20 seconds. That means if this element is not found, Selenium will wait maximum for 20 seconds before finding an element and throwing an error in the end. So it will wait for 20 seconds and after 20 seconds it will throw the error. If the element becomes visible within say 10th second, then Selenium will use the element and move ahead. It will not wait mandatorily for 20 seconds. It will keep on polling the page for 20 seconds. If the element becomes visible in 10th second, it will use it. For example, if I run this code, it will now throw an error after 20 seconds. Hold on. So it's not throwing the error, right? You see that? Now it throws the error, right? So I hope you are able to understand, right? Okay. Anybody with any questions? Right. Now, if the element had been visible in the 10th second, it would have used it. And this is a global timeout. It is equal to synchronization timeout in QTP if you know about QTP. Okay. Right. And whenever you write driver.find element, it is applicable to all these commands. Both driver.find element. It will be applicable to all driver.find element commands in the program. Okay. So this is implicit wait. Right. It will not wait for 20 seconds. It will keep on polling the element, or it will keep on polling the web page for 20 seconds. Right. Now another thing. Every time, Kanchan, I'll tell you about capturing errors and all. I'll tell you. Wait is for how many? By default, wait is for a fraction of a second only. It throws immediately. I'll add you to the group as well, Apurva. I think you're already there in the group. Yes, declaration of implicit wait has to be done once. Okay? Just yeah. Declaration of implicit wait has to be done once. That's it. Alright. And it can be used again and again. Now every time you will not find ID or name associated with an element. Okay. For example, if you talk about this text on the top, if you investigate this text with Firebug, you will not find an ID and all. It's just inside the h1 tag. Okay. So to find the ID and all, if it's got not no ID and no anything, you have to use XPath and you have to use various other locator strategies. Okay. So I talked about these things. Apart from these, I talked about implicit wait as well. Right. Now, next thing is you need to know about the constructors and Firefox profiling, XPaths, how to use XPaths. Okay, so I'll be talking about them. Okay, Vijay Lakshmi, I'll add you to the group. Yeah, I have added you. Right. Now, giving you a brief background, I'll not directly jump over to XPaths. First, I'll have to talk about Firefox profiling. Okay, look, um, what is Firefox profiling? First of all, look, implicit wait will defaultly wait. It will automatically wait. It is there in every automation tool. It's a global wait. In QTP, it is there in UFT, in Silk Test, also in Selenium. Okay, it will wait mandatorily for 20 seconds. Okay. Great. Vikrant, you can ping me on Skype. Okay. So out here, Look, the Firebug which is opened by Firefox, right? You will not see any Firebug out here. Okay, the Firefox which is opened by Firefox has got no Firebug. It also has got no browser history. It also has got no bookmarks which you had actually booked. It's like a freshly installed Firefox on your machine. Now when you are running the script and if the script fails somewhere, you have to investigate the web page. You need Firebug at that time and you don't have it. Okay, right. Hold on, Rajeshri. I'll come over to those concepts. I'll tell you. Right, hold on. So out here, you have to use the concept of Firefox profiling. Okay, what is Firefox profiling? It is like, for example, you and your brother, both of them are using the same machines, the same PC. And you want that when you open Firefox, you should see your set of settings, your set of bookmarks, your set of history, or your set of everything. And your brother wants that when he opens Firefox, he should see his set of settings, his set of bookmarks, and everything which is related to him. Right. So at that time, we use the concept of Firefox profiling. Okay, you can build multiple profiles on Firefox. Alright, for example, I can build a profile. Hold on. To build a profile, you have to close the browser. You have to close the browser from this file exit menu. Don't close it from this cross on the top right. Close it from file exit menu. Okay, and give the command over here firefox.exe -p profile manager. Okay, I'll give this command to you on chat, also on the WebEx or Skype group. Okay, so you give this command and hit the enter button. You will see that this window will open up where you can create a new profile. I can create a new profile like Selenium profile. Finish it. And I can start this profile. So when I start this profile, this will be like a freshly installed Firefox on your machine. You can make n number of profiles. It will not have Firebug, it will not have any bookmark, it will not have any history. So what Selenium does is that when it opens Firefox, it creates a profile of its own which gets destroyed in the end. Programmatically, Selenium creates its own profile. So you can ask Selenium to open an existing Firefox profile. Yeah, I have added you. You can ask Selenium to open its, not to open its own profile, you can ask Selenium to open the existing profile which is there on your machine, and on that existing profile you can install Firebug and all that stuff. How to do that? I will not talk about it today. Okay, I'll talk about it tomorrow, but I'm just giving you an idea. So I have told you today how you can investigate a web page, how you can open the browser and all, and we made a simple script which was executing on Firefox and going to Gmail and entering user ID password with the help of the locator's ID, name and all. Okay, and I also told you that every time you won't find an ID or name for an element. And yes, if you make a script in one browser, you can make it run across multiple browsers. Okay, if I want to run the same script on Chrome, and if I take this, if I run the same script on Chrome, I am just setting the property for exe for Chrome and launching Chrome, and the same script will also run on Chrome because the page sources will remain same. The ID, the name, attributes, everything will remain same. Okay, so you see that I run it on Chrome and it runs perfectly fine on Chrome as well. So you need to just change the driver, keep everything else same, the implicit wait, navigation and all, and it will work. Okay, right? So tomorrow I will go in depth about Firefox profiling concept, how you can tell Selenium to programmatically, invoke an existing profile. Okay, what is an XPath? How do we use? How do we calculate the XPaths? Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow. Okay, right? So I'll stop